Hi, this is Bob Pellerin, CTO Bob, and today we return with another laptop. This is a Hewlett-Packard A250 G7 for 7th generation. We've covered some Lenovo's in the past, and I got a lot of emails asking me for alternative other brands. So here we've got an inexpensive, relatively inexpensive Hewlett-Packard laptop. So let's go ahead and open it. Please, if you like this video, be sure to put a like on the bottom, and please help us out by subscribing. That really helps us. Let's go ahead and open it. And here we go. So unlike the desktops from Hewlett-Packard, you'll find that they are using foam for the laptops. And inside the box really is not much. You've got a little how to set up, and we have, as you can guess, the power cables. And these are standard. HP's been using them for quite a while. They're the 3-pronged as opposed to some other brands. And this goes into a power supply. And the power supply, unlike some of the other models, this one here actually has a more traditional power connector. And so in this case we've got a, let's see, 45 watt power supply there. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at it. So this particular one comes with an A5, as I'm going to keep repeating because I get a lot of emails and a lot of questions about these laptops and things that I open, and some of the questions are, how come you got an i5 and I just bought one and I'm getting an i3 or an i7, something different than what I described. When you purchase these, they have different models for the same. So you can get a 250 with a stronger processor, less processor. So of course you've got to make sure that you order exactly what you want. From a recommendation point of view, I do recommend getting 8 gigs of RAM as a minimum. This unit has that. So let's go have a quick look as to the unit itself. So this is a less expensive unit, so it feels plastic-y. This is not a full metal one. It's got a lot of cheaper feeling materials. When you open it, it's got a nice 15-inch screen. In this case, we've got a French keyboard. Sorry, this is actually an English keyboard on here. And it's nice and tactile, I guess. So this particular unit has an i5. It's an 8265U. And it's got, so it's a 1.6 gigs, and it's got a traditional 500 gig hard drive in here. Now, for home use or for someone on the road with light duties, this is perfect. A lot of individuals now use things like remote desktop, or they'll use a VPN to access Office. So we'll go ahead and plug this in. As it's starting, let's take a quick look around the unit. So on the power connector side, what you'll find is some USB, and you'll also find, I need to see it, but I believe this is a HDMI and a Ethernet port. On the flip side, what you've got there is an SD drive. You have a little indicator for the battery, and this is another USB. So as to brightness, obviously the more you pay for a laptop, generally the better a screen you will have. If you're going to go into a 4K screen, or you're going to go into, I mean, there's different types of screens. Really the importance is, when you're getting a less expensive unit like this, expect it to be slightly dimmer, lower resolution. Depending on where you're planning on working, if you're working outside, this one has no glare, but it's even from just standing behind it, it seems fairly dim. So I do enjoy these, the track mouse, the trackpad rather. Got a good feel to it. I really do like the keyboards. I do prefer the Lenovo keyboards to the Hewlett-Packard, but overall it's pretty nice. As someone who likes to type a lot, writing books and so forth, to me a keyboard is very important. Most of the people that use these will want to put either an external display through the HDMI port, and a lot of people will use wireless keyboard and mouse. If you truly want something that is more responsive, I would suggest getting a unit with an SSD drive, and if possible, you can get an NVMe drive, which I've covered before. I even had a whole podcast on NVMe if you want to go search for that on my ctobob.com website. So on a final note, again, the thing is it has a nice large screen. Once it's got windows, you can tell it's relatively bright. I mean, I've seen brighter and I've seen dimmer. This is kind of an average. The other thing is the material is relatively low end. It does feel very plasticky. I mean, it is plastic, but there's no real texture to it. It's just little dots all over. There is no backlit on this keyboard, which is another comment I get a lot. Why is there no backlit? Different models, different features. Always make sure that the one that you're looking at, if that's a feature you need, get it. I personally very rarely work at night, plus I actually can type by touch, so I don't need to look at the keyboard. So if that's important to you, make sure that you check the complete specs of the unit. The other thing is portability. It is relatively light. It's got a nice wide speaker here, which you did not get to hear, but it's decent sound out of it. And the camera is on top. So some of them I know that they've, like Dell's, sometimes it's on the bottom. Makes for an awkward angle. So I'm Bob Pellerin. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Again, please consider subscribing and liking this video. Thank you.